How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel. First and foremost, happy Saturday wherever you are around the world. Hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Decided to kind of take a relaxed day today and not go all out on all these updates, but wanted to still come and kind of give you guys an update on XCN and I think a few others I will also record. But yeah, really analyzing and taking a look at what's happening with the markets. But the weather's getting great. Sometimes it's good to take a break, guys. I would strongly suggest you guys go touch grass and actually enjoy the weather, because the markets are going nowhere. But looking across the board as we are in Saturday, the market has bounced once again quite a bit, which of course is really nice to see. You're starting to see the market really showing a lot of strength once again, and obviously I'm sure no one's really complaining about that. As far as XCN is concerned, it's up about 10% over the course of the last 24 hours in USD comparative. It's also up 4% in Bitcoin and Ethereum comparative. But one thing to note is that we're back below the top 100, which of course tells you that there are other coins that are outpacing right now, and some people did end up taking profits. Whenever we speak about profit taking, people always give me a little bit of a hard time saying, why are you telling people to take profits? Because profit taking is extremely, extremely important. I will emphasize this no matter what, and we did see some profit taking occurring over the course of the last few hours, but you are starting to see XCN's price picking up once again. Valuation sitting at $700 million, and the 24-hour trading volume at about 343.7 million. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer: anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So if you're looking at the Bitcoin Dominance Index, literally just a few hours ago, we were sitting at 63.77%. We have seen a sharp decline because of the fact that Bitcoin did see a breakout once again. Obviously, we're in a weekend. On the weekends, more manipulation than usual. But I was telling you guys, if you've been tuning in, I was saying, if we're able to remain above this 81 to 82 range, the chances of us starting to pick up, start heading towards this 90K range is on the table, and just really starting to see that is a very, very realistic thing to be looking out for. Because right now we're retesting some of the levels we haven't seen for about a few, I would say like a few week and a half. And of course, if we're able to break out, then we're retesting March 26th levels, and then obviously the target remains to be the 23.6. You guys know the importance of the 23.6 zone, something we haven't retested since March 6th, so more than a month ago, and that would obviously be an amazing thing to see. But let me know down below what you guys think. Do you think we're out of the woods? Do you think the market is indeed in a reversal? Because of course we're hearing about the 90-day pause, which again is 3 months, not a small pause. And of course you did see China and US going back and forth, but there is the broader sentiment that we are needing to kind of look at the broader world, right? There's a lot of other countries are actually wanting to come up with some sort of a conclusion rather than kind of going back and forth. Obviously it's not said and done though, so still we need to be cautious, but the market is reacting in a positive way. And of course, if we do see a rate cut also on top of this, I think this would be an amazing, amazing thing to see. But obviously, like I said, we still need to be cautious about what's really happening around the globe. But with that being said, obviously you guys don't really want me to keep going on the other stuff. You guys want me to talk about XCN. So if you're looking at XCN right now, obviously you're at 2.1 cents right now, above that key resistance. But let's really analyze and take a look at what we're looking at in terms of its price right now. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit to show you guys what we're looking at. So I don't want you guys to focus on the previous price run. We're only going to be focusing right now mainly at this big massive run. And this massive run, literally, if you picked it up just on April 7th, you did see this thing go up 300%. But we did see a correction. And again, there is going to be a coming time where you do see profit taking happening. People that did see XCN drop from the 5 cents down to 0.007, they're learning and they're going to lock in profits just because you guys don't. And again, I know 99% of my viewers understand and realize where I'm coming from, and show a tremendous amount of support and great feedback. But there are trolls that don't like when it comes to profit taking. But just because you guys don't like locking in profits, and again, I'm only emphasizing the people that always have something negative to say when it comes to profit taking. Just because you don't like taking profits doesn't mean others won't. That simple as that. Literally simple as that. So we went up to that 2.9 cents, just below that 3 cents price point, and we did see a correction of 38.84%. So again, not a small move. I repeat, not a small correction. A 40% drop after a 300% increase. Not bad still. Not bad still. But you're noticing a specific support playing out for us is 1.8 cents. Does this ring a bell right now for you guys? I hope it does. If you've been following my channel when it comes to the XCN updates, I've been talking about this 1.8 cents level so much on my channel, and that exact same level used to be a resistance. It played as a support for us. Amazing stuff to see. So let's say you had some money on the sidelines that you wanted to dollar cost average into XCN, and you were looking at certain sport line, especially the 1.8 cents. You did see XCN bounce up 15% since then. So a nice accumulation pattern playing out, especially if you look at it on the hourly time frame. Obviously, we need to kind of break out of this 2.2 cents, really start heading towards the upside, but nice accumulation pattern. So far, so good. Of course, if we drop below the 1.8 cents, we could be looking for some of the lower time frames. But as of now, this correction, is being held nicely as of now. Again, no clear indication what's really causing this. Maybe it is market makers. Maybe there is some inside news. But as of now, there's no big news in terms of, why this price is going like crazy. But keep an eye out on this 2.6 cents resistance. Of course, we kind of got stopped out of there just a few hours ago. But if we're able to flip this, I repeat, I think, we could be in for a reversal and start heading up to some of these levels we haven't seen since earlier this year. But let me know down below what you guys think. If you want to see more of these updates, smash that like button, hit that red subscribe button, and we'll see you later in Crypto ZX and peace.